fragrance purchase. And this sleek quartz clock, just $16.50 with any $15 purchase of Halston Z14 or 112 men's cologne. Available at Dillard's.
A lot of people had a lot of say in new Prospector Premium Chili. Katie Monroe said to use choice green peppers. And Sam Milgram said the secret's tender beef and southwestern spices. And Dusty Gartman insisted on green chilies and jalapenos. To all you chili lovers who had so much say in the homemade goodness of new Prospector Premium Chili, we have something to say. Come and get it.
The People's Court convenes at a new time, 4 o'clock weekdays starting Monday on Channel 2. Tonight, live from Houston, Texas, Pageant, a Christmas spectacular, the most amazing story. Brought to you by Burger King. The best food for fast times is as close as your nearest Burger King. And by Service Merchandise. Shop Service Merchandise, America's leading jeweler. Ron Stone and Jan Carson.
Hello, buddy.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you and welcome to Pageant, a Christmas spectacular. The most amazing story. In just a few moments, the lights will come up and hundreds of cast members will fill these 3 magnificent stages.
Live animals, laser lights, and special sound effects will all combine to create a truly unique program for the Christmas season. We're broadcasting live by satellite tonight to cities all across the nation, and many other communities are recording the program for later broadcast during the holiday season.
And we guarantee you this is going to be the most spectacular program of its kind you're going to see. The program is produced in its entirety by the First Baptist Church of Houston, Texas, in cooperation with KPRC TV in Houston.
It's going to be a wonderful evening, so sit back and let us set the stage for your Christmas season.
With Pageant, a Christmas spectacular, the most amazing story.
Look! What to your wondering eyes now appear? Only at Burger King, it's cuddly reindeer. There's Rodney, Ramona, Rhonda, and Randy. At $1.99 each, the price is just dandy. Get one with chicken tenders or Burger King fries. Stuff a deer in a stocking for a Christmas surprise. Collect all 4 at a Burger King sign. Get your reindeer right now, and the best food for fast times.
For your love, oh, I would do anything. I would do anything.
When it comes to the joy of giving, nothing makes you feel as good as gold. Available now for the holidays at Service Merchandise, America's leading jeweler.
Me and the Chronicle sports section, we go way back to my boyhood heroes. It was Mantle, Maris, and Colfax. But compared to my latest hero, what can I say? That's my boy right there. And when he hits one, it really gives me the chills. He's got his own heroes from reading the Chronicle, too.
Yeah, I'm up next.
Go get him. See, someday he'll understand the feelings that you have when it's your own son.
The Chronicle. To subscribe, call 220-7211.
The Houston Symphony, in cooperation with Channel 2, presents a musical salute to the holiday season. Family Christmas Celebration and Kids at Christmas are traditional Christmas concerts your whole family will enjoy. And this year, find the true meaning of Christmas in Handel's Messiah. Plus, for the first time, a Messiah sing-along. Join your Houston Symphony for these special holiday events. Call 227-ARTS for tickets.
To be seated here for Pageant, you know, the tickets went on sale in October and virtually sold out overnight. Now, there will be 13 performances, 4,000 people for each performance in this theater.
That's 52,000 people who will be watching from this theater. And Ron, it really isn't a theater, it's the worship center here at First Baptist Church in Houston, but it's ideal for theater presentations. And you at home have the best seat of all.
And you better hold on to that seat because we're going to do some time traveling. We're going to go back into the past, we're going to go forward into the future, and then we're going to stop at the best time of all, the present.
But first, a turn-of-the-century Christmas celebration with the lighting of the first electric Christmas tree. And then we're going to time travel to the year 2087 for a fun look at how Christmas might be celebrated then.
Then back to Christmas present for Christmas presents, for Santa Claus, for sleigh bells, for all kinds of good things, including the magnificent 530-voice choir of the First Baptist Church of Houston singing the traditional songs of the season. There'll be handbells and, of course, a full orchestra.
Oh, you're really going to enjoy that. After we take a brief intermission, we come back for the true Christmas spectacular, the birth of Jesus, his ministry, his crucifixion, and resurrection. I think you'll agree, it is the most amazing story.
Just about ready to begin. We'll be back in just a moment.
Pick a card, any card. Show it to everyone else. Ready? Let me think. It's a Kroger recipe card of the week. And each week you'll find an exciting free recipe in the Kroger meat department. Want to see another one? Okay. Here's a little trick that'll actually put money in your pocket. Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Here's what's on sale.
This week, USDA inspected pork loin is cost cutter priced 99 cents a pound at Kroger.
In early Mrs. Baird's commercials, we had actresses playing her part. So sometimes people ask, was there really a Mrs. Baird? Well, there sure was. She was my grandmother. I'm Vernon Baird, and since 1908, Baird family members like Arthur have continued to bake the freshest, best-tasting bread you can buy. Grandmother Baird was a real person, all right, and you can still taste the care she put into her bread when you try Mrs. Baird's bread today.
Something special is happening at Mervyn's.
Mervyn's Big White Sale starts this week. You can save 15 to 50% on our entire collection of beautiful sheets, on soft, fluffy towels and rugs. Even bedspreads, pillows, blankets, and comforters are 25 to 50% off. And save on a big assortment of kitchen coordinates. Great gifts for Christmas.
It's the white sale you've been waiting for at Mervyn's.
They are called Olympic hopefuls, but hope plays a small role here. For it will take a courage, a discipline, and a sheer will few of us will ever know. And if their effort is true, then they too will be known as Olympians. The human spirit, it still lives in the Olympic Games.
And now live from Houston, Pageant, a Christmas spectacular.
The most amazing story. Let's go to the stage now to meet a man who will tell us all about his new discovery.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pageant, a Christmas spectacular. My name is Richard Chalmers. I represent Electromagnetic Teletransportation Incorporated. And I'm here this evening exclusively to enable you to experience the most amazing new discovery that we've made. Now, you're the first humans on which this process has been tested, but you have nothing to worry about as it's totally safe. We've lost none of our guinea pigs nor monkeys so far. Here's how our discovery works. by locking each of you in your chair into a special electromagnetic field, and then by charging that field with a quasi-unsaturated electron isotope, we will be able to teletransport you to any point in time that we choose. Now, isn't that amazing? Well, listen, when you hear this sound, it will signify that each of you has been secured in a magnetic field and are ready for a transitional orbit. Then, when you hear this sound, it will signify that you are being molecularly transported to another point in time. Now, I'm going to show you how it works. Are you ready? Okay, everybody's been locked in. I hope you're all comfortable. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your amazing journey to a Christmas past.
Good to see you. Merry Christmas. How are you doing, man? Good to see you. Junior? Up here. Okay, let's go. Time to start the program. Merry Christmas, sweetheart. as your mayor, I would like to welcome each and every one of you to our first annual Christmas celebration being held here in Louisville County. It's a very special occasion because this is the first time we will use Mr. Edison's electric light bulbs to light up our Christmas tree. Yes, and we're meeting out here because this is where the decorating committee found this beautiful, perfectly symmetrical Douglas fir. And we're also meeting here because this is as far as the electric wire runs. And so, without further delay, I would like to proclaim the opening of this Christmas season with the lighting of the electric Christmas lights. Oh, mercy. Well, that's a mercy. I'd like to thank the decorating committee. And also, while we're thanking people, I'd like to thank the Baptists who loaned us the pews on this side, and the Methodists who loaned us the benches on this side, and the Presbyterians who brought us those little white Christmas candles. Thank you very much. Now, we'd like to acknowledge special guest in our midst tonight, Miss Idella Gaines, who is the second cousin, twice removed, from Mrs. Mary Todd Lincoln. Miss Gaines, would you stand up so we can recognize you? Oh, thank you, thank you. Well, we recognize you. Sit down now. Thank you. Now, the weather has not exactly cooperated because the Gazette did tell us we were going to have sunny, warm weather. But we don't. So let's go ahead with the program before we all freeze to death out here. Now, first on our program is going to be those lovely ladies down from Creek Hollow Road, the Lowther family. Ms. Annabelle Lowther, her sister Clarice, and her two daughters Gwendolyn and Cecilia. They're going to play our English handbells. And now, our school teacher, the widow Doris Van Camp, is going to get the school children to put on a pageant for us. She did not put my son, Junior, who has had elocution lessons. We'll see about that next year, Miss Van Camp. Y'all carry on.
And they were the same country shepherds. And they were the same country shepherds. Abiding. What? Abiding. Oh, abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them. And they were sore afraid. Sore afraid. Sore afraid. And they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them,
Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people.
All right, please, let's just be calm now. take our seats. Go ahead, honey. Tell the story.
Unto you is born this day, in the city of David, a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger.
And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying,
Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill to men.
Glory to God in the glory to God in the glory to God in the highest. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. Peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Yeah, that was mighty fine in spite of the goose. Next on our program, we got our county clerk, Columbus Jumper. He's going to play a little song for us on the, bless your heart, wore you out, didn't it, Miss Van Camp? Going to play a song on the Hosenglatscher. That's German, means wooden laughter. Okay. Now, during this special time, I want you to take out your Presbyterian candles. We're going to sing an appropriate song here under the lighting of our new Christmas tree.
Oh, Christmas tree, so evergreen and fragrant. Oh, Christmas tree, so evergreen and fragrant. In summer sun and winter snow, or in the Christmas candles glow. Oh, Christmas tree, so evergreen and fragrant. Oh, give me light from heaven above, the Prince of Peace, the Prince of Love. Oh, Christmas tree, a heavenly gift for
Well, I don't know when I've had a finer time. And look at that snow, would you? Just like God putting icing on our cake. Well, I don't know what else to say to you all except God bless each and every one, and Merry Christmas.
If breakfast were as it was meant to be, it would be a centuries-old balance of fruits, grains, and nuts. The breakfast Europeans call muesli. Now muesli comes to America as Kellogg's Mueslix. Oats, wheat, rice, corn, barley, raisins, dates, and hazelnuts. Kellogg's Mueslix. 5-grain or bran. What breakfast was meant to be.
Wieners for Christmas. What a wonderful surprise. Discover Junior Fashions. Warm winter jackets for men and boys. Cozy slippers and sweaters for the young at heart. The season's best looks at special holiday prices. And fleecewear for kids. Gifts that are fun to give. Special gifts for some very special people. Surprise them all with great gifts from your neighborhood Wieners.
Big juicy blueberries bursting as they bake. Keebler makes new elfin loaves just like Mom used to make.
Only smaller. The Keebler elves bake real fruits, nuts, and spices into snacking-size elfin loaf snap breads, then wrap them and rush them fresh to your grocer's freezer.
Blueberry, banana, carrot.
Brings in for a snack or a break. New Keebler elfin loaves.
Just like Mom used to make.
Only smaller.
When I was 6 years old, I had the best and longest Christmas I've ever had. 2 days. I got up Christmas morning, and there was an electric train, and I'd always wanted one. Apparently, my father had too. We both fought over that train through a good part of the day. Well, not fighting so much as hovering. The next morning, as soon as the stores opened, we were there buying another electric train for him. That's 2 Christmases. I've never had 2 since, but I still have those 2 trains.
Welcome back. Am I glad to see you? Now, wasn't that fun and painless? In fact, it was so much fun, we're going to do it again. Only this time, we're going to try to guess you into the future. Now, that's a little more difficult, but once again, all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy a Christmas future.
Good evening, and welcome to our 414th Christmas pageant. We apologize for the delay. A snowstorm has backed up traffic on levels 8, 9, and 10 of the freeway. And now, in keeping with a Christmas tradition, small human life forms called children shall perform for us. They will be doing the extravaganza, chorale, chorale, chorale.
We are the future. We are the future's children. From stardate 2000, 460 and not. We have been programmed for perfection. We do not rebel from parental authority. Nor do we argue, nor say outrage, nor fraternize with the wrong kind. We do not smoke, or chew, or hang around with those who do. We know how to have fun, romp, and how to laugh and run. Ha, 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 and we know how to play. Yay! Yay! Bake a cake, baker's man. Add water to the freeze-dried mix at warp speed, my man. In the microwave it goes all circus primed and ready. Gee, the taste is wonderful, if a little leady. Now, Christmas, if it is anything, is a praise, a worship of a king who came to earth from a land far away and lay to rest on a manger crib's hay. The celebration of Christ.
Small human life forms have warmed my circuits, and I feel Christmas now for Santa extravaganza.
You better watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list and checking it twice. Going to find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. So you better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. A digital doll that rattles and woos. Stereo bracelets, laser beam shoes. Santa Claus is coming to town. With telephone watches, microchip cars, video rings imported from Mars. Santa Claus is coming to town. For kids in girl and boyland will have a jubilee. They're going to join the Toyland drum, run a laser Christmas tree. Watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town, to town, to town, to town, to town, to town. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Welcome back again. Well, what do you think of our new discovery? Isn't this fun? Thank you. We've time traveled you to a Christmas past, to a Christmas future. But now let's put our electromagnetic teletransportation to rest while we bring to you always the best of all, a Christmas present.
Sing and sign a Christmas song.
It's fun to sing along.
Ladies, gents, and little girls, and boys, and everyone.
Sing and sign with Santa, and you'll have lots of fun.
Now all you kiddies act grown up and do just like you should. So Santa Claus will visit you, and I'll know you've been good.
A baby doll.
Roller skates.
And other fancy toys. That's what Santa Claus will bring to good little girls and boys.
Yeah! La la la, sing and sign a Christmas song. La 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 la, it's fun to sing along. Ladies, gents, and little girls, and boys, and everyone. Sing and sign with Santa, and you'll have lots of fun.
You ladies get a sequin dress, some stockings, and perfume.
And pretty flowers made of silk that always stay in bloom.
So ladies, treat your husbands right and do the best you can.
And if you have no husband, ask old Santa for a man.
La la la, sing and sign a Christmas song. La 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 la, it's fun to sing along. Ladies, gents, and little girls, and boys, and everyone. Sing and sign with Santa, and you'll have lots of fun.
Now, just in case
buttons, cowboy boots, a plaid bow tie,
A Gucci bag.
a VCR, and lots of fancy things. And then you get to pay the bills for all that Santa brings.
La la la, sing inside a Christmas song. La 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 la, it's fun to sing along. Ladies, gents, and little girls, and boys and everyone. Sing a song with Santa, and you'll have lots of fun. La la la, sing inside a Christmas song. La 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 la, it's fun to sing along. To sing along with Santa.
I don't get it. All it is a bunch of rocks fastened to metal.
Diamonds and gold are not just rocks, Chris.
The type of jewelry you wear reflects the level of taste.
Taste, you know something you could use more of? I think the jewelry you wear says a lot about the person.
Just like how it's made says a lot about quality.
I still don't get it. Why go into some fancy jewelry store and spend an arm and a leg?
But that's just it. You don't have to get
You
quality.
just have to know where to find value.
So where is this place?
Tell him, Beth.
Service merchandise.
I knew that.
Look! What to your wondering eyes now appear only at Burger King. It's cuddly reindeer. There's Rodney, Ramona, Rhonda, and Randy. At $1.99 each, the price is just dandy. Get one with chicken tenders or Burger King fries. Stuff a deer in a stocking for a Christmas surprise. Collect all four at a Burger King sign. Get your reindeer right now, and the best food for fast times.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day.
As a doctor, I've seen a lot of babies brought into this world, and, well, it never ceases to amaze me. I'm saddened sometimes, though, because innocent babies come into a world filled with bigotry and prejudice. You and I could start a new world with these babies, where someone's race or religion or color wouldn't matter. Just think, a world free of bigotry and prejudice? Now that would be wonderful.
Thank you very much. And now it gives me great honor to present to you the most fabulous music in the world, the choir of the First Baptist Church of Houston, Texas.
may not have brought a set of English handbells with you tonight, but you have a musical instrument in your pocket. If every one of you will reach into your purse or pocket and take out your car keys, you're going to be the Jingle Bells Choir on the next verse. Okay, no humbugs now. Everybody participate. And start jingling. Are you ready?
Very happy holiday, may your home be filled with happiness, may Christmas be a jolly day for everyone you love, and just may troubles all be tiny ones, may love be my protection, may New Year be the very best, that's what it takes to be. Oh, hear those sleigh bells as they jingle round the way, telling all of us that Christmas light is not so far away. Let you hear those sleigh bells as they jingle round the way, telling all of us that Christmas light is just a few more days. All out the holly, let the tree before my spirit goes again. Fill up the stockings, we may be rushing things, but let the halls again shine. For they lay a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the window, carols at the spinning. Yes, they need a little Christmas right this very minute. It hasn't sown a single word. The Santa dear, we're in a hurry to climb down the chimney. We have the brightest string of lights I've ever seen. Slice up the fruitcake, tiny runs of tinsel, all that evergreen music. Need a little laughter, need a little singing, ringing in the rafters. Yes, they need a little snappy, happy ever after. We need a little Christmas now. Right this very minute, candles in the window, carols at the spinning. Yes, they need a little Christmas right this very minute. We need a little Christmas now. Jingle, 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 jingle all the way. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in one horse open sleigh. For the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, taking spirits high. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Now the ground is wide, going wide we go. Take the girls in line and sing the sleigh song. Just get a bobtail bay, 240 speed. Then pitch into an open sleigh and back to take the lead. Come with us and hear those jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open, jingling, 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 open sleigh. Hey!
His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he strike from the hand of our brother, for in his name all oppression shall cease. Joy proclaim, Noel, Noel, his love and joy proclaim. When Christ our Lord is born, Christ is the Lord. Oh, praise his name forever. His power and glory evermore proclaim. His power and glory evermore proclaim.
And you know, Ron, those singers are all members of First Baptist Church here in Houston, and they are a regular part of the choir.
You know what's amazing to me? That they're able to get on and off that stage without killing themselves.
And in the dark, too.
Dark.
Now, if you think what you've seen so far has been spectacular, just wait, because you have a real treat coming up in Act 2. Now, Act 2 is that part of the pageant that tells the Christmas story with one of the most dazzling nativity scenes you've ever seen.
A great deal of work goes into maintaining the authenticity of the props and the costumes as the historic events take place. The story this year begins with Moses and continues throughout that special night in Bethlehem, then on to the ministry of Jesus, the crucifixion, and ending with a little bit of heaven.
It's truly memorable. So stay with us as we await Act 2 of the most amazing story.
Fresnel. Join us at the Music Hall as the Theater Under the Stars presents The Sound of Music, now through December 27th.
Several years ago, some Southwest Airlines employees started getting together to cook dinner for some special friends.
One night they invited me along, and I ended up falling in love.
This is a Ronald McDonald House.
Dinner is served.
A home where families with seriously ill children can stay while their children are undergoing treatment at a nearby hospital. Individual families from all walks of life become one big family here.
and the spirit of Christmas lasts all year long. Southwest Airlines has named the Ronald McDonald Houses their primary charity.
We're here to help spread the word about the very special love we found.
Merry Christmas, Herb.
Merry Christmas, Shay. And a Merry Christmas to you, too.
From the airline that love built and the house that love built. Happy holidays.
Something special is happening at Mervin's.
Mervin's Big White Sale starts this week. You can save 15 to 50% on our entire collection of beautiful sheets, on soft, fluffy towels and rugs. Even bedspreads, pillows, blankets, and comforters are 25 to 50% off. And save on a big assortment of kitchen coordinates. Great gifts for Christmas.
It's the white sale you've been waiting for at Mervin's.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And if you can, please, help someone else have a Merry Christmas, too.
The Salvation Army, believing in miracles.
You know, Ron, it's hard to believe we're sitting in a church. Worship services are held here every week, but now it's been transformed into a theater.
That's right. And through the magic of television, we're going to show you just how that's done.
Please stay with us.
We'll be right back.
thought you had to go to a pizzeria for a real thick pan pizza, like Patrick really loves. So I was shocked to see this new Totino's pan pizza in the store. It's got about a pound of meats and cheeses and sauce on this thick, chewy crust. It's so thick, it's even in its own pan. Patrick says there's nothing he craves more than a pan pizza. I'm not sure how to take that.
Totino's new pan pizza. Pizza worth coming home to.
Integrity. Nowadays, you might wonder where that word went. I guess it's just a little harder to find now than it was about 50 years ago when William Dillard was starting his department stores. Yes, Mr. Dillard knew all about integrity. A fair price, a fair profit. Today, there are Dillards across the land, but you know what? Mr. Dillard still runs them with integrity.
Taking something different on those holiday visits can be a problem. Come to Kroger for beautiful solutions. Gifts like festive fruit baskets brimming with glorious fresh fruit, basket after beautiful basket. And flowers, elegant roses, poinsettias, colorful bouquets, and stunning seasonal arrangements. So take something different on your holiday visits. Go Krogering. See the difference.
Almost 100 years ago, in St. Petersburg, Russia, a Houston tradition began.
Вот-вот, чудесно.
Today, the tradition continues with the spectacular new production of Houston Ballet's The Nutcracker, The Magic, A Moment. The Nutcracker at Wortham Center, Houston's Christmas tradition.
The production of Pageant is a most amazing story in itself. The cast of over 600 people, all part of the 20,000-member First Baptist Church of Houston, spend countless hours rehearsing, planning, practicing, and staging the program. As a result, the professional quality of this event is unmistakable. The same is true of the television broadcast of Pageant. More than 24 volunteers, all part of the church's weekly television ministry, man the cameras, the tape machines, and the sound equipment. The result is what you're watching tonight. Pageant is being broadcast by satellite to more than 25 cities across the country and will be seen on videotape by the Armed Forces Network worldwide. We hope you're enjoying the results of the fruits of this labor of love. Many people have inquired about videotapes of tonight's program. They are available. If you would like to receive either a stereo VHS or beta videotape of tonight's entire program, you may call this convenient toll-free telephone number and charge it to your Visa or MasterCard. The cost is $39.95 plus $3.50 to cover the cost of express delivery to your home. The number is 1-800-624-4860. In Florida, the number is 1-800-282-8175. Or send your check for $39.95 plus the $3.50 shipping charge payable to Pageant, Box 247, Houston, Texas 77001. Make Pageant a Christmas tradition in your home.
Covered all the problems of the world, now what?
Well, how about Christmas love night?
Or lack of it.
Oh, come on, fellas. This time it's the real thing.
That's what you said about the last one.
Who is this Blair? Now, what are you going to get her for Christmas?
Well, I haven't really decided.
You know, Chris, those things require a little forethought.
Jewelry. That's romantic.
Something quality.
That's where he needs a little bit of help, I think.
Service merchandise is all the help he needs. That's where I got Allison's necklace.
Oh, so now the truth comes out.
Yeah, well, the truth is that for quality and value, you can't beat them.
What is this, a commercial?
Look! What to your wondering eyes now appear only at Burger King. It's cuddly reindeer. There's Rodney, Ramona, Rhonda, and Randy. At $1.99 each, the price is just dandy. Get one with chicken tenders or Burger King fries. Stuff a deer in a stocking for a Christmas surprise. Collect all four at a Burger King sign. Get your reindeer right now and the best food for fast times.
The Houston Symphony, in cooperation with Channel 2, presents a musical salute to the holiday season. Family Christmas Celebration and Kids at Christmas are traditional Christmas concerts your whole family will enjoy. And this year, find the true meaning of Christmas in Handel's Messiah. Plus, for the first time, a Messiah sing-along. Join your Houston Symphony for these special holiday events. Call 227-ARTS for tickets.
Some kids with a bright future.
I would like to fly airplanes.
Being a cancer researcher.
Mechanical engineering.
My first novel would probably be a medieval story.
My future looks great. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I'm working for one of the best agencies in Dallas.
More than ever before, children with cancer have a bright future. Buy the cards designed by Children with Cancer from MD Anderson Hospital. Call 792-CARD.
Tonight, live from Houston, Texas, Pageant, a Christmas spectacular, the most amazing story. Brought to you by Service Merchandise. Shop Service Merchandise, America's leading jeweler. And by Burger King. The best food for fast times is as close as your nearest Burger King.
Actually, you've already met him. He was the mayor who turned on the lights for that electric Christmas tree, and he was the robot master of ceremonies.
His name is Reagan Courtney, and he's the only professional actor in the cast. Reagan's an author, a poet, a songwriter, and a drama teacher, and he's been with Pageant for the past 13 years.
We have a camera back in his dressing room right now. Let's go back and listen in.
Why are we doing this long pageant? I've asked myself that every year for 14 years. I don't know. Well, I do know why. We're doing this because we want to tell the whole story. You know, we start way back a long time ago when we were doing prophecy, and we talk about the prophecy, and then we talk about angels, and we talk about sheep, lots of sheep. You wouldn't believe the sheep, whole flocks of sheep, a few goats thrown in for spice. I tell you, and it gets pretty aromatic around there. And then after the sheep, we got the wise men coming in. We got your wise men with your gold, your frankincense, and your myrrh. And they come in with all of their big fancy group of people in their fancy costumes. And that's the end of the Christmas story, but that's not the end of the story. And so we decided a long time ago to tell the whole story. And we tell the part about Jesus' ministry, and we tell about the crucifixion, and the burial and the resurrection. And that's why I come down here and spend 2 weeks away from my family, putting this goop on my face, fixing up my hair with a perm, putting on this beautiful costume, and playing like. I'm 46 years old, I'm still playing like. You know, play like I'm Superman and play like you're, you know, whatever. So we're going to play like. I'm going to play like I'm another person. I'm going to pretend that I am your father. My name shall be Joseph of Arimathea, you, Benjamin, and Ephraim. And we shall go from this place together and tell the amazing story, my sons. Come now, let us go even to Bethlehem and see this thing which has come to pass.
And now Act 2 of the most amazing story.
Presented without commercial interruption.
Therefore, the Lord himself shall give a sign, behold, a virgin shall conceive, and shall bring forth a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Emmanuel, God with us. My name is Joseph. I come from the town of Arimathea, and when I am not tending to my business or spending time with my family, I am searching the scriptures trying to find some word of the Messiah.
No, he wasn't. He was a Hebrew.
Yes, boys, one moment, please. This is like Cain and Abel. Now, what is the matter here?
Ephraim says that Moses was an Egyptian, but in school the rabbi has taught us that he was a Hebrew.
I see. Well, let's examine this a little bit, Ephraim. Tell me, why do you think Moses was an Egyptian?
When Moses was just a baby, the Egyptians were so afraid of the power and strength of the Hebrew people that they killed all the newborn baby boys. But his mother put him in a basket behind the bulrushes on the banks of the Nile. Pharaoh's daughter found him and brought him up as her son. So wouldn't that make him an Egyptian?
That makes you very smart. It makes me very proud, and I kiss you on top of your curly head. Mwah! It also makes you very wrong. Moses was brought up by an Egyptian princess, that is true. But he was by birth Hebrew. And you cannot change your birthright so easily, come. And I'll tell you some more about this amazing man, Moses. See, he was very rich, very educated, powerful. Why, he might have been the next Pharaoh. Except Providence saw to it that he spent 40 years wandering in the wilderness, where he learned of his true mission. But Egypt, where he grew up, was a rich and powerful nation, where they had gold and silver and alabaster in every household. A visiting king once said there was as much gold in Egypt as there was sand. Now, 400 years before Moses, the Egyptians welcomed the Hebrews with open arms. But in that 400-year time, they became slaves to the Pharaoh and had to do everything he decreed. The Egyptians were very cruel taskmasters. They bound the Hebrew slaves together and made them build their public monuments and their tombs. They treated them like animals. They beat them into submission. Sometimes they even beat them to death. The day finally came when Moses learned who his real people were, and he grew to hate the Egyptians' wealth. One day as he visited a construction site, he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave. He had seen this many times before, but somehow it was different. And when the Egyptian drew his knife, Moses, in a rage, killed the Egyptian dead. Now, he was a very smart man. He knew that in Egypt you cannot murder an Egyptian and survive, and so he fled. He went to Midian across the Red Sea. No longer did he live in the Pharaoh's palace, a powerful prince. No, he lived in the tent in a desert. No longer did he wear princely robes. No, he wore the humble mantle of a shepherd. Yes, the Prince Moses became a shepherd Moses. And he guided his sheep, looking for pasture land. One day, as he was guiding his sheep, looking for pasture land, he saw a very strange sight. There was a bush, and it was burning. But it wasn't burned up, just burning. And he heard a voice, and it said, "Moses, take off your shoes, you're on holy ground. And Moses said, who art thou, Lord? And the voice said, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I've heard the cries of my people in Egypt, and I want you to go and lead them to freedom. Moses said, whom shall I say has sent me? The voice said, say, I am hath sent you. Now listen to me carefully. God revealed to Moses his ancient and holy name, a name so holy we dare not take it in vain and speak it aloud only with great reverence and fear. That name was Yahweh. God spoke to other prophets in dreams and visions, but he spoke to Moses person to person. And he got Moses to get the people out of Egypt. He sent 10 plagues, the last of which was so dreadful that the Egyptians let them go. And so off they started with Moses leading them. All the descendants of Jacob and their wives and their children and their flocks and their herds and their sheep and their carts and their wagons. Moses leading them. They were marching to freedom. God went with them. Before them went a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. And it wasn't long until they noticed another pillar, an ominous red dusty cloud. The Pharaoh had changed his mind, and he wanted his slaves back. And so he sent 600 charioted horses after the children of Israel. Well, here they were, going through the wilderness as fast as they could, but how fast can you go with all of that behind you? And they found themselves right up against the edge of the Red Sea. And the army behind them, what were they going to do? They were terrified. They began to act like children, these children of Israel. But Moses was calm. He had seen God work miracles. And he lifted his arms, and the water parted and stood like two shining green cliffs, emerald green cliffs. And the children of Israel just stepped right off the shore to the bottom of the ocean and walked all the way to the other side. When the Egyptians saw that, they got their horses and off they started chasing the children of Israel. They got halfway across. Their wheels caught. The water collapsed on them and buried them in a watery grave where their weapons remain rusting to this very day. Well, the children were very happy. And Aaron, Moses' brother, he sang a song of thanksgiving. And Miriam, she danced a little dance of joy. And the children of Israel, they let out a great shout of praise.
He is the Lord our God. He has delivered us. Exalted God above, who has delivered us. To him all praise be given. Almighty God in pen, for he has hurled a horse and its rider into the sea. He is the Lord our God, he is our strength, our song, he is our warrior God, who leads his chosen throng through desert hot and steep, through waters dark and deep. And he has hurled the horse and its rider into the sea. The Pharaoh boasted, let them be pursued. When my legions overtake them, let my slaves be renewed. I will draw my sword, killing all who resist. For no one defies the Pharaoh when I raise my mighty fist. But your right hand, Lord, majestic in its power, threw down the mighty Pharaoh, made his legions cower. And the sea covered them, and they sank like lead. Egypt's mighty Pharaoh and his armies all were dead. Now who among the gods is like unto thee, O Lord? Your unfailing love on your people you have poured. Majestic in your holiness, awesome in your glory, working wonders. Hallelujah, we will ever tell the story. By the power of thy Lord, unleash your majesty, and we have hurled a horse and its rider into the sea. You hurled a horse and its rider
Now you would think, after witnessing such an incredible miracle, that the children of Israel would have trusted God forever. But they didn't. They grew tired, they grew frightened, and they began to complain, and they said, "We're hungry, we want some bread." So God gave them bread to eat, manna from heaven. They got tired of the bread, and they said, "We're tired of bread, we want some meat." So God gave them some meat, quail. They said, "We're tired of wandering in the wilderness, we want a house, we want to go back to Egypt." They complained, and they complained, and they complained every step of the way. Finally, Moses brought them around the base of Mount Sinai, where they pitched a camp. And God urged Moses to climb that great holy mountain. And the people kept on bickering and complaining. They turned to Aaron, Moses' brother, who was left in charge. They complained to him. They said, "We're frightened. Where's Moses? He's been gone too long. God's abandoned us here. We want to go back to Egypt." And Aaron said, "Maybe we could have a festival to remind us of the old days in Egypt. Bring the gold and silver that you have, and we'll melt it down. We'll make us a little memento of our sojourn in Egypt." So they did, and they melted it down, and they made themselves a golden calf representing the great bull god of Egypt that stood for fertility and strength. And these people, they began to dance around this golden calf, not the holy dance of Miriam, but the dance of idolatry. Hath seen your wickedness, and he is grieved. You must pay for what you have done. You who have sinned will pay for that sin. And God determined to kill every one of them and raise up a new nation out of Moses. But Moses felt pity for the children of Israel, and he begged God to please spare them. So God spared them. Do you think they learned a lesson? No, they did not. They lost their faith again. They complained again. They whined again. And this time, God sent a plague of poisonous serpents. And the serpents were biting and killing all of the people. And once more Moses begged God to please spare the children of Israel. And so God said, "Very well, make a bronze serpent and lift it up high on a pole. And when the children of Israel walk by, if they look to that serpent, trusting God and believing him, they would be spared." That's what they did. Those poor children of Israel, wandering Israelites looking for a home, taking what they could with them. God gave them another set of tablets, another set of stone tablets, and he wrote the 10 Commandments with his very own finger. And they carried it with them in a box covered in gold called the Ark of the Covenant. And they carried that ark with them in their wanderings, and it was as though God's presence were there with them. Moses is quite a leader, my sons. Now, I want you to remember this: God is good. And there will be times when you will be grown men, and you will be worried, and you will be frightened, and you'll wonder if you can feed your children, and you'll wonder, what is the world coming to? And in those dark moments, God has always sent to us great men and women of courage and faith to lead us. So don't be afraid. All down through the ages, we've had prophets and saints, and they have pointed all ways to the coming of the Messiah. Let me show you these ones. There, see? Abraham and Sarah, the grandparents of our faith, and Sarah holding in her arms the infant Isaac. And there, Jacob. See, Jacob the supplanter, his name was changed to Israel. Oh, Moses. Moses, who led us from slavery into freedom. Rahab, the harlot, she saved Joshua's army, and she is in the lineage of the Messiah. Oh, and there is Ruth, the Moabitess. She also is in the lineage of Jesus. And there is our greatest king, King David. He was also a poet. And with him, Bathsheba, the queen, and the mother of Solomon. Solomon the wise, who built the temple according to God's instructions. And there is Elijah, who fought Jezebel and the false prophets of the false god Baal. And Jeremiah, the weeping prophet, he wept when Jerusalem was destroyed. Oh, and Daniel in the lion's den, remember that story?
Yes, Father, you taught us that lesson on the last Sabbath.
I'm glad you remember. And look, there is the prophet Isaiah. He said, his name shall be called Prince of Peace. Enough lessons for the day. You go now. I think it's time to do a few chores. The Sabbath is coming. Go help your mother. I love you. And the people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. And they that dwell in the valley of the shadow, upon them hath the light shone. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and he shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And of the increase of his kingdom there shall be no end. And in time that prophecy came to pass, and this is how it happened. It came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed, counted. And so everyone went to be taxed into his own city. And Joseph also went up out of Nazareth into Judea unto Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. And so it was accomplished, that while they were there, that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, wrapped him in soft, swaddling clothes, kissed him, and laid him in a manger because there was no room in the inn. And there was in the same country shepherds, keeping watch over their flock by night, when lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. You shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying,
to God in the highest, and on earth peace among men.
And on earth peace among men. Glory, glory, glory to God in the highest. Glory, glory, glory to God in the highest. Glory to God. Glory, glory to God in the highest. Glory to God. Glory to God. Glory to God. Glory, 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 glory to God in the highest. Glory, glory, glory to God.
And when the angels had gone, the shepherds said one to another, Why would God send angels to us? Nobody ever comes to see us, except when the priest comes down from Jerusalem to pick out the sacrificial lamb. So they said, Let us go now with haste and see this thing which the angel told us about. And they went, and they found in Bethlehem Mary and Joseph, and just as the angel foretold, a baby lying in a manger. After Jesus was born, a bright star appeared in the eastern sky. Wise men looking for this baby who was born to be King of the Jews. They followed the star for many months because they had read the prophecy that had said a star would rise out of Jacob when this great deliverer was born. And they came to worship him and to give him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Wise men, magi from the east, came, and they said to King Herod, "Where is this King of the Jews born?" Herod violated their innocence, and he said, "Oh, tell me when you find him, that I may go and worship him too." You see, he wanted to kill this king, but God warned the magi to go home a different way. And Herod, in his rage, decided to kill all of the male babies 2 years of age and under. And in so doing, he would kill this king of the Jews. But God warned Joseph in a dream. And Joseph took Mary and the baby, and they fled to Egypt, the very land where earlier the children of Israel had been slaves. Now the hope of all the world fled for refuge. And he grew up. And he came back. His father, Joseph, opened a carpenter shop in Nazareth. And somewhere during his childhood, he learned who he was, even as Moses learned who he was. and he grew in stature and favor and wisdom with God and man. And when he was about 30 years of age, he began his earthly ministry. One day I was visiting in Jerusalem at the fountain of Bethsaida, and there were a group of lame and crippled and blind people around the fountain. And I saw a group of men approach. There seemed to be one amongst them who was the leader. And when the leader walked into the midst of the infirm people, a blind man cried out, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy upon me." And Jesus touched his eyes, and the man could see. "I'm healed. I can see, he said. Oh, there was great excitement around that fountain. And then Jesus saw a little boy on crutches, and he motioned for him to come to him. The little boy was frightened. He said, "Put down your crutch and come to me." The first step the boy took was as though he were stepping off a great precipice. And the next step, his leg grew stronger and stronger until he ran to the waiting arms of Jesus. Oh, and the wind whispered around the fountain, "Is he the one? Is he the Messiah? Is he the promised one? Has he come?" And from that moment on, wherever Jesus went, people followed him. And how Jesus loved the people. And they seemed to love him. And he fed them, and he taught them, and he healed them. And he especially loved the children. The disciples tried to protect him from all the crowd and from the children, and he said, "No, let the children come, and forbid them not, for as such is the kingdom of God." And there approached one day a rich young ruler and his entourage.
"Master, what must I do to inherit eternal life?"
"You must keep the commandments."
"Why, I have kept all of the commandments since I was a child."
"Then sell all you have and come, follow me."
"Sell everything? Everything I own? Everything my father slaved for?"
"You cannot serve two masters, God and money."
And the young man went away sorrowing, because he was a man of great wealth. And Jesus sorrowed too, because he knew that the young man had lied. You see, no one has kept all the commandments. The young man had not even kept the first commandment. He loved his money more than he loved God. One day Jesus was preaching in Capernaum. I was there, and I heard him as he spoke to us. He preached, saying,
"Stop worrying about what you eat and drink, and about the clothes you wear. Surely there is more to life than food, and more to the body than clothes. Look to the birds of the sky. Learn a lesson from the way the lilies grow. Stop worrying about tomorrow. It will worry about itself. Today's trouble is quite enough for the day."
Jesus! Jesus! Master! Master! Mary and Martha, the sisters of your friend Lazarus in Bethany, have sent me to find you and tell you that Lazarus is dying. Master, he is dying. Please, come quickly. Come now, please.
There is no pressing hurry. We shall arrive in 3 days. This illness will not end in death, but will reveal the glory of God.
It is too late, Lord. If only you had been here, my brother would not have died.
Your brother will rise again.
I know he will rise again at that last day, Lord.
I am the resurrection and the life. In death, to believe in me is to live again. In life, for any man, to believe in me is never to die. Do you believe this?
Yes, Lord.
Where have you laid him, Martha?
Come, see.
I prayed and prayed for you to arrive. You would have kept Lazarus from dying.
Father, I thank you for hearing my prayer. I know that you always hear me, but I speak for the sake of all those who stand around me, so that they may believe it was you who sent me. Lazarus, come forth.
Caiaphas, what are we going to do? If we let this man Jesus continue with his miracles, all of Israel will follow him into rebellion, and that'll bring the Romans down upon us all.
Silence! You ignorant man. You know nothing. Reason it out that it's better for one man to die than a whole nation perish.
Caiaphas did not even realize that as high priest, he was speaking prophecy. It is better for one man to die than a whole nation. And then I remembered the prophet Isaiah, who said, all we like sheep have gone astray. We've turned every one into his own way, and the Lord hath laid on him the iniquity of us all. I knew that he was the Messiah, and I knew I had to get to him, but how could I find him? I was a secret disciple. Where would I find him? Passover was near. I would go to Jerusalem, and I would search for him there and warn him that the Jews were after him. Time for the Passover feast. And so we gathered in our houses across the land to remember that time when we were able to flee from slavery in Egypt. And we remembered the bitter herbs that we had to eat and the bitterness of slavery. We remembered the unleavened bread that we had to take with us. We left in such a hurry we did not have time to put leavening in the bread. We remembered the sacrificial lamb and the blood that was sprinkled on the doorpost that told the death angel that the children of Israel lived in that household. The death angel passed over. And that's why we have Passover, my sons. But Jesus, when he celebrated that last Passover, he changed it. He took the things that we knew that were familiar to us, but he gave them a new meaning. He took the bread and he said, "This bread is my body, broken for you. As oft as you eat it in remembrance of me." And then he took the wine. And he said, "This wine is the blood of the new covenant. As oft as you drink it in remembrance of me." And after the feast, Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane to find strength for what he knew he had to endure. And he prayed, and he said, "Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done." He went to the garden for solitude, the cool, quiet evening. But his solitude was interrupted by the angry feet of temple guards, and the darkness was broken by flickering torches, and the peace was violated by a betrayer's kiss. And they took Jesus to Caiaphas, and there in the middle of the night they held a trial.
Carpenter, do you know why you are here? The accusations brought against you are great in number, and they cannot be ignored. But we are just and only seek the truth. So if any of you have charges against this man, speak now. We'll judge who's telling the truth or not.
This man is a liar. He's crazy. I even heard him say that he could destroy the temple of God and rebuild it in 3 days.
It took King Herod over 40 years and 10,000 men to build the temple of God. Do you think you can rebuild it in 3 days? Do you think you're greater than King Herod himself? Are you the Messiah, this Son of the Blessed?
If I tell you, you won't believe me or let me present my case. But the time is soon coming when I, the Messiah, shall be enthroned beside Almighty God.
Then you say you are the Son of God.
Yes, I am.
We need no further witnesses. You've heard this blasphemy. What is your verdict? The penalty for blasphemy is death. Let us take him to the Roman prefect.
Caiaphas, what are you accusing this man of?
We would not have brought him to you if he were not a criminal.
Then why don't you take him and judge him according to your own law?
You know our law will not allow us to put a man to death.
What exactly has he done?
He is leading our people to ruin by telling them that he is their king, the Messiah.
And what is that to me?
Any man who makes himself a king is going against all that Caesar stands for.
Are you the Messiah, their king?
Yes, it is as you say.
So, that's no crime?
But he is leading our people to ruin. Our nation is falling. Everywhere he goes, he's causing riots against the government. All over Judea, from Galilee to Jerusalem.
Is he a Galilean?
Yes.
Then Herod should be judging him, not I. Take him to King Herod, for Galilee is under his jurisdiction. And he is here now, in Jerusalem.
So, you are Jesus of Nazareth, a rabbi whom they claim performs miracles. I am delighted to see you. I've heard so much about you, Jesus. Are you really a king? Some claim that you're God. Are you God, Jesus? Not very talkative, is he? I have heard that you perform miracles. Do one for me. Just one tiny miracle, Jesus, please. Do it for your king. If you're a prophet, tell me the name of the guard that has hit you. You call yourself the king of the Jews? Look at you. If he is a king, he must be dressed as a king. Give him a robe befitting the king of the Jews.
Herod, he's no king of ours. He's a troublemaker. Can't you see this man's dangerous?
Any fool can see that he's no criminal. Well, that he claims to be a king is ludicrous. Take this poor, pathetic creature back to Pilate, for I find no fault in him.
You have brought this man to me again, accusing him of leading a revolt against the Roman government. Nothing this man has done calls for the death penalty. I will therefore have him beaten and released. What then would you have me do with him? Would you have me crucify your king? I am innocent of the blood of this just person. Caiaphas, his blood is on your hands.
May his blood be on us and our children. But you have written King of the Jews. Should it not be written, he claimed to be King of the Jews?
What I have written is written.
And they took him, and they mocked him, and they beat him, and they took some thorns, and they wove them together and made a little crown and pressed upon his head. And then they took him to the place of the skull called Golgotha. And there they crucified him. A Persian invention, refined to a high art by the Romans. And I kept remembering the scripture that said, "Cursed be he who hangs on a tree." could he be the Messiah then? And then I remembered the words of Jesus when he said, if I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me. But I did not know that he meant on a cross. I had been a secret disciple. And yet I went to Pilate and I asked for his body. I would no longer be a secret disciple, but what does one do for a dead person? What could I give him? I gave him a grave. A grave that was to be known from that day forward as an empty tomb. You see, 3 days after they buried him, some women went to the tomb, and when they got there, the stone, that huge stone, was rolled away and the grave was empty. Well, Mary Magdalene was so amazed at this, but she told the other disciples, and they all saw and they bear witness, as do I. Listen to me carefully, sons. I am your father. I am a man. I make mistakes as a man. But believe me when I say this. For so long I was a secret disciple, but now I believe. I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. And not only do I tell you this, but a great cloud of witnesses across the ages, saints and prophets of God, they all stand with me in chorus, and they say, Jesus Christ is Lord of lords and King of kings. He is the promised one. He is the Messiah. And I want you and all of us to come at this time and adore him,